The annual division of revenue process for the financial year 2019-2020 has been ongoing. This process commenced with the publication by the National Assembly of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 11, governments at shillings 310 billion, are dropped by Kenya shillings 4 billion from the allocation of Kenya shillings 314 billion for the financial year 2018-2019. It is noteworthy that concerning the basis for the equitable sharing of revenue between the two levels of government had recommended a figure of 335.7 billion as the equitable share of revenue for the county governments. This bill was passed without amendments by the National Assembly and referred to the Senate for concurrence. The Senate, taking into account the recommendations of the Commission on Revenue Allocation, amongst other submissions, passed the bill with amendments to reflect the Kenya shillings 335.7 billion as the allocation to the county governments. As you will recall, the National Assembly rejected the amendments of the Senate, and the bill proceeded to mediation pursuant to Article 113 of the Constitution of Kenya. The mediation process collapsed. This led the Senate to publish a fresh bill, the Division of Revenue Bill, Senate Bills number 13 of 2019, providing for the amount of Kenya shillings 335.67 billion as the share concurrence. For the record, the National Assembly, having introduced the bill in the Assembly in a process unknown to the practices and procedures of our Parliament and comparative jurisdictions, withdrew the bill and did not consider it further. In response to the publication of the Senate of Kenya shillings 335.67 billion for the counties, the National Assembly published a share of revenue for the county government at Kenya shillings 316.5 billion. This bill was referred to the Senate, which proceeded to 16.5 billion to Kenya shillings 335.6 billion. B, withdrawal of financing for the leasing of medical equipment, and C, the inclusion of an additional conditional allocation. National Assembly rejected the amendments of the Senate, and the bill was referred to a mediation committee. The ongoing mediation process is therefore the second attempt in this financial year at resolving the impasse between the houses on the enactment of equitable share allocation for the financial year 2019-2020. The position of the Senate is that the allocation to the county governments should be determined by increasing the previous year's equitable share, which was Kenya shillings 314 billion, by 6.9%, which is the 3-year average inflation. The Senate has consistently championed the determination of the allocation of revenue to the two levels of government based on the recommendations of the Commission of Revenue Allocation and specific economic, apparently, propose allocations that do not take into account accepted economic parameters, and that based on the National Assembly's proposals, while the national government would enjoy a whooping 2020, the county government's percentage increase would be a mere 0.79%. The impasse on the Division of Revenue Bill 2019 has not happened in a lacuna. Article 218, Sub-Article 1, Paragraph A of the Constitution provides that the Division of Revenue Bill shall divide revenue raised by the national government among the national. The Constitution provides that, and I quote, on the basis of the Division of Revenue Bill approved by Parliament under Article 218, each county government shall prepare and adopt its own annual budget and appropriation bill in the form and according to the procedure prescribed by an Act of Parliament. As a consequence of not passing, the county governments have been precluded from conclusively preparing their own annual budgets and appropriation bills. 1 paragraph J of the Constitution, which requires stable and predictable allocations of revenue to counties, governments. It is now well settled that a definitive feature of the transformative nature of the 2010 Constitution is the introduction of a devolved system of government that guarantees the people of Kenya the right to manage their own affairs and serious situation that the country finds themselves in is not only prejudicial to the delivery of public services, but also erodes constitutional imperative for equitable development. As you're aware, while the Division of Revenue Bill forms the basis upon publish, consider, while they operate unfettered, it is the position of the Senate that to proceed unilaterally to determine the allocation to the, by passing the Appropriation Act 2019, the National Assembly in effect unlawfully and without a determination of what that share should be, a country must resolve. This is a mischief of counties. The Senate filed High Court Petition number 218 of 2019, in which Appropriations Act 2019. And
I'll proceed from there.
The same tone.
The same tone.
Yes.
The Senate has been unwavering be shared equitably among on the part of the national government, yes, or the National Assembly and counties. The duty to ensure that counties receive their share nationally, that we still find ourselves in a position where we have to reiterate this very basic constitutional principle. It must be of the counties. So that victory of 2013 is part of the process that has led to the Senate performing this very important duty. The Senate must express its disappointment at the manner in which the National Assembly has handled this matter. The National Assembly has, throughout this process, arrogated to itself the role of the defender, that the mediation process shall be a negotiation undertaken in utmost good faith and with patriotism and fidelity to the public interest. The National Assembly's conduct in this process has been evidenced by the country has been treated to unprecedented display of brinkmanship, counties, and to the system of devolved government as a whole. In virtually all bicameral systems, the second chamber is deliberate. It is for good reason. It is for times such as this. The other house has demonstrated that it is unconcerned whether this impasse persists indefinitely. It is unconcerned whether the counties grind to a halt. It is the ultimate irony that it is no bother of the National Assembly if the people of Kenya are denied basic services at the counties so long as the national government is adequately resourced. The Senate, by its design, composition, and role, cannot be complicit in such a project. As we have shown, the end of the first quarter of the financial year, and counties are yet to receive their share of national raised revenue. The country is for critical sectors such as agriculture and health. For this reason, and for reasons we have explained, the Senate, following a meeting held today, 5th September 2019, an ongoing mediation process to agree to the allocation of the 316.5 billion as the equitable share of the nationally raised revenue to be allocated to the counties. This has been a difficult decision for the Senate, but the Senate has been faced with a situation where it has to rise to the calling and put the overall national interest above short-term partisan considerations. We take solace in the fact that many setbacks we have faced, the Senate has been able to enhance the allocation of county governments by 6.5 billion from the Kenya shillings 310 billion in the first published bill by the National Assembly to the current 316.5 billion. It is not enough, but it is progress, and the Senate will live to fight another day. The Senate will not allow the entire system of devolved government, that is the basic pillar of our Constitution, to be brought down by schemes such as this. Accordingly, we will advise the senators representing the Senate in the ongoing mediation process to urgently meet their counterparts in the National Assembly in order to immediately conclude this matter. The decision taken by the Senate is without prejudice to its position in High Court petition number 284 of 2019, which suit we will continue to pursue as the petition of the monies to be allocated to the two levels of government. It are in contention. For the sake of the a division of revenue can be discussed by Senate or not, despite the fact that our division of revenue had already been passed by National Assembly alone, signed by the President, and was being implemented. Eventually, by the decision of the Supreme Court in the subsequent financial year, it became mandatory for the Senate now to work on the division of revenue bill. In the same manner, even though we concede to the amount that are in this, is 316.5, it is not without it is without prejudice, because we will continue to pursue the position that there cannot be a legal appropriation bill being passed by one house before a division of revenue bill is passed. That position will be canvassed in court, and I believe eventually in the financial year 2020-2021, we shall now be having the correct position of the, as enunciated by the Constitution, that appropriation bills, both at the national and county level, will wait for the division of revenue bill. The protracted division of revenue process that the country has witnessed has fortunately come at a time when the country is in the throes of robust constitutional reform discourse. The current impasse should serve as an ample testimony for the need for a constitutional amendment to rank and high in its agenda a guarantee of adequate resources for county governments, free from the prospects of bullying, intimidation, and blackmail that has characterized this process. It is probably also ample testimony for the need for such constitutional reform to carefully consider a redesign of the composition and roles of National Assembly that will ensure that the House at all times serves the national interest. In conclusion, the Senate commends the Senate Committee of Finance and Budget and the senators who served on both mediation committee on the division of revenue bill for their resolve and commitment to the principle of devolution and the national interest. Kwa ufupi, tunataka kusema ya kwamba sisi kama seneti tumejipata katika ile hali ya kwamba wale ndugu zetu wa National Assembly hawana haja na ile shida wananchi wanapitia katika serikali za counties. Na ningependa kushukuru seneti, kamati ya finance, kamati pia ile yenye ilikuwa ya mediation, kwa sababu kwa kupigania haki za counties tumeweza kuongeza zile hela zinaenda counties kwa bilioni 6.5, 6.5 billion, kutoka ile 310 ambayo ilipitishwa na ikasainiwa na rais, na sasa tuko tayari kupitisha 316.5 ambayo itaongezea pesa county 6.5 billion. Ilikuwa ni nia yetu iongezwe mpaka 335 billion shillings, lakini kama vile Wakenya wameona, ndugu zetu katika National Assembly hawana haja, hawana nia, hawashughulikii, hawana ile roho ya kuhakikisha kwamba mambo ya afya, mambo ya ukulima na shida ya mwananchi katika mashinani imeshughulikiwa. Kwa sababu hiyo tumekubaliana na ile fika ya 316.5 kama seneti, lakini tutaendelea kupambana kwa kotini kuhakikisha ya kwamba ile appropriation bill ya national government ya kugawa pesa kwa taifa, national government budget, mwaka ujao hakutawezekana tena kwamba counties watakuwa wanaumia kwa pesa zinazoenda kwa counties, ili hali national government apitisha bajeti kwa pesa ambayo sio yao. Ya mwisho, tumesema kama seneti kwa hii statement yetu ya kwamba pesa ambazo zinaenda counties government sio msaada, sio sadaka, sio ati umepeanwa na mtu fulani kwa county government, ni pesa za mwananchi wa taifa la Kenya ambazo zinagawiwa kupitia kikatiba na bunge. Na kuenda mbele huko, hatutaki kuona kwamba ati counties watakuwa wanaambiwa ya kwamba eti nyinyi mtapata hii ama mtapata hile, msaada tumewasaidia hii, tumewasaidia ile. Hiyo lazima ikome. Na tunaamini ya kwamba counties watafanya kotini itafanya haraka kuhakikisha kwamba this issue has been resolved. We actually want to say that unfortunately, even though we are in the process on court, we feel and it's unfortunate that justice delayed is justice denied. But we will be patient to ensure that next year, Division of Revenue Bill will be preceded by the appropriation bill. Kwa hayo na mengi, Mungu awabariki na asanteni sana. Hatutachukua maswali leo. Hiyo ilikuwa ni statement ya Senate.
I'll take the questions.